Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Cast Iron Dreams. I'm going to talk a little bit about Quartzsite, Arizona today, and if it's really Oasis in the desert or not. As of tomorrow, September 15th, the LTVAs open back up. For those who don't know, the LTVA is long-term visitor area. Um, there are some in California. The big area is Quartzsite, Arizona, just across the border from California. There are some down by Yuma, also closer to the Mexico border. I'm not exactly sure where those ones are at. I've been to one down there called Imperial Dam. Just going to give a little insight on our time there last year and whether it was a friendly place or not, and maybe some of the things that you can expect when you're there. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So last year, or the last season, was our first time down there. We got down there on December 10th of last year and left on April 6th of this year. So we were just shy of 4 months. Didn't know really what to expect other than seeing some videos on YouTube through Cheap RV Living, mostly Bob Wells. Everybody who's a nomad knows who he is. Most of the people that I met down there, that it was their first time. That's also how they found out about it. So as we went down there, I didn't really know what to expect. As far as getting there, I'm not a fan of the desert by any means. I told myself when I went down there, I had to make it at least a month to cover the expenses of just traveling down there from the Northwest. So once we got down there, within the first couple of days, the community down there felt pretty welcoming. I got invited to a couple of campfires, had multiple conversations just in the parking lot in the general area with people about vehicles, or where they came from, what are they doing down there. I thought it was kind of funny when people see your license plate, they'll often ask you where you're from, because you'll see license plates from everywhere. I probably saw one from every 50 states and most of the Canadian provinces. So people kind of use that as a identifier to see where you're from, or if it's an area they've been to or they can relate. So overall, once we first got down there, I started seeing that the community was pretty open, and started to feel, welcomed overall. Again, without going down there, without knowing anything really about it. So after we'd been down there several days, or a week or two, we continued to meet people and got befriended by several people, and people that I stay in contact with this today. Also people that'll probably be lifelong friends. So the community down there, in my opinion, is pretty welcoming. With that being said, I do know a couple of people that did have some interactions with people down there that weren't all that great. So that can happen. It's not a perfect world by any means. And I think in the end of January, end of February, roughly 1 million people passed through there. It's a big event. If you go online and look it up, they have all kinds of stuff. They have RV shows. They have what they call the big tent. So, it's a massive deal right in the Quartzsite area. So when you get that many people in one place, obviously sometimes you can run into problems. Personally, for us, I didn't have anything but good interactions. I had one kind of mediocre interaction with a guy in a grocery store, but that can happen anywhere. So overall, for us, again, I would say it was friendly. Anybody that's been down there, leave a comment below on your experiences and what you think about it. If it was good, bad, or indifferent. How many times you've been there. I would definitely go back. I'm on the fence about going back this year. It may or may not happen. Not exactly sure. Things I thought that were going to happen this winter, I don't think are going to happen. So still kind of weighing it out. But again, drop a comment below, or if you have not been there and you have any questions about anything that I might be able to cover. Again, we'd only been down there one time, so it's not like I'm super experienced, but we did do 4 months down there. And again, overall, I'd rate the community and the experience pretty good. I liked it better than I thought. Before I got there, I didn't really know what to expect. Like I said, you can watch videos, but that doesn't really show or enlighten you on the experience. But again, overall, I would give it a thumbs up. And just a couple of other things to consider if you are planning on heading down there. It's windy almost all the time. and sometimes it gets really, really windy. I think we had 2 or 3 high wind advisories, like the ones that pop up on your phone when you're down there. So that's something to consider. I saw a lot of tents, lean-tos, and things like that get destroyed down there. So take that into consideration. There are some heavy rains. They do have monsoons, I think, at the beginning of the season. I met somebody that when they got down there early in the season that was there when they had really heavy rain. And then also, I think in December only, we had 1 or 2 nights that were below freezing. So it's not super cold in the winter, but it does drop down a little bit. So those are just some other things to consider besides the people and the adventures that you will have down there. And as always, Riley and I would like to thank you guys for coming along with us this week. If you're down there and I'm down there and we cross paths, say hello. It's always cool to meet other nomads, travelers, wanderers, what have you. Oh, and one other thing, it is dusty down there because when it's not raining, it dries right out and that wind will kick it up and then the vehicle's driving around. So almost everything inside our van got a pretty good layer of dust on it. So that's another thing to think about if you are going to head down there. But otherwise, until then, cheers and safe travels.